Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturchio and Chris Gueci.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Mojo Market Report right here on a Football Friday. It is Feel Good Football Friday because we finally made it, and we finally got, all the quarterbacks, the receivers, the running backs, the tight ends, everybody, every position group that we've previewed throughout the course of the week. It's over. It all comes to a head right now because this Sunday we have ourselves Championship Sunday. AFC title game is the primetime matchup, and of course the afternoon slate, 3 o'clock, 3:30, something like that, is the NFC title game. We'll get into that game in a little bit. Chris, I know there was a couple things that kind of surrounded the news wire that we definitely wanted to touch on because it will definitely affect your Mojo portfolio and your stocks and specific players.
Yeah, as we enter the early stages of the offseason, what is the early stages of the offseason for most teams, there's obvious news that are starting to form. Other execs are looking at other teams' contracts and rosters and seeing who's going to become available. And you're starting to target anybody that you might look at in a potential trade options, et cetera. So there's obvious free agency pending. There's some quarterbacks out there. Geno is going to look like he's re-signing. They asked the Seattle Seahawks GM, John Schneider, what do you think about Geno? He said, oh, no, we're in on Geno. We're going back after him. I think they might address the quarterback position in the draft anyway. Raiders have a couple of things in flux. They got rid of Derek Carr, or they're about to get rid of Derek Carr, but along with Derek Carr, there's potential that Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow might be on the move as well. Yeah, definitely a fire sale in Vegas.
And Adams is there.
And you can make the case. You can make the case that the Raiders may force a team that wants Derek Carr to take another one of these players to get rid of the contract. So keep your eye on that situation. I know that this is defensive side of the ball, but it does affect some receivers. And Jalen Ramsey looked like he might be on the move again in his career. The Rams are in a tough spot, and they're looking to get some draft capital back and get out of some of these contracts.
But I thought it was F them draft picks, Chris.
Well, not anymore, right?
No, you might need extra draft capital to succeed.
Speaking of draft picks, there's one head coach out there that is looking like he's going to demand a $15 million payday as well as draft picks. But I'm here to say, or he's here to say, that he may not coach anymore at all after this season. I think season after possibly. But Sean Payton saying he might be returning to the booth or the television because the job that he wants just may not be out there. And that's me saying that, not him. But these are the rumors right now. So could be a little agent speak where he's saying, back to TV.
Just trying to do the math.
20 mil.
I'm just trying to do the math as to what job he might want. I mean, if Dak and they have an out after that and they don't succeed again next year, it could be a possible Dallas thing.
Yeah, it could be.
It really could.
Jerry Jones did come out and give the vote of confidence for McCarthy going into next year.
Yeah, no. I'm saying going into next year, fine. And they have Dak with no out.
If there is even a slight regression out of Dallas, I think McCarthy's done next year. And then Sean Payton, he would be a fool to take a deal now from the Cardinals at that. If the Cowboys job.
That, and I think after next year, you don't have to worry about any of that draft compensation crap because he's out.
And I've always thought this. I guess the NBA makes sense with the sign-in trades, but if I'm a player, I don't want to get traded to the team that I'm like for 4 draft picks. Like, you're say in a Russell Wilson example, you go to Denver, but then you handcuff your future of the team that you're going to by them giving up four draft picks and all the money. And then what you had in Denver was not only did Russ not know how to control a locker room because he just doesn't act right, but then you have that where we can't even get good anymore because all our money's there and all our draft picks are there. And I think it kind of breeds some type of discontent.
That's that's a good point. It's like, no, don't trade all those draft picks. But he has no control over that.
Do I really want to go to the team that's losing their first round pick out of the gate? So I'm going there putting myself at a disadvantage.
I mean, you would hope that they just make, they're entertaining free agency at some point. You know what I mean? Like maybe.
Yeah, but you would want to be doing that anyway.
Yeah, but it's very interesting.
One last thing I'll say real quick. It's not, I guess it leads into what we're about to have to talk about all next week and, the week after. There's Mel Kiper released his draft, his whole mock draft.
1.0 is out.
And then he released his big board, which I found that the mock draft, I feel like it kind of went chalk outside of a quarterback not going first, which I guess makes sense now because
Chicago's there.
Chicago has it. I still think Chicago might draft a quarterback, but that's another story. Even though a quarterback doesn't go first, he did have 4 QBs in his top 10. So actually in his top 9.
And you know what? I didn't look at all I focused on was the Dallas pick, of course, but like pretty sure Will Levi goes before like a couple of the other guys.
See, no, Will Levi, this is what was the anomaly here. His draft, the mock draft didn't have Levi's going. He had Levi's going 5th.
Yeah.
But on his big board, he has him number 1 overall, I think.
So it's more of like a team need or a team want fit.
Well, I think I don't buy it. I think Will Levi's is good, but if you look, he could be like the next Zach Wilson. I feel like that's a lot of people are comparing.
Good?
Like he could, no.
I was gonna say,
no.
The next Zach Wilson's not a good thing.
He'll put some film together and he'll put a workout together, and he could, you throw him in shorts and a t-shirt and he'll run around. And I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm just saying the reports that I've read. I'm not a huge Kentucky fan. Randall Cobb went there. I do give him that, but I don't follow Kentucky football like that. Will Levi's, I think that he may or may not be overrated.
See, the Cowboys got drafted on the mock draft?
Yeah, Bijan.
It's very interesting, man. Because now it's actually time to, while they're not on the market yet, I mean, like, obviously the Mojo market has the quarterbacks, right, coming in. But, like, these guys are going to be entered into the Mojo pool soon.
Very soon.
So you got to, like, keep your eye on. Let's see what kind of, like, entry price a Bijan Robinson gets, because
I'm keeping my eye on Charbonnet.
Which one's he?
The UCLA running back.
Okay,
I feel like
okay.
Bijan Robinson gets a lot of all the credit, and rightfully so. They're talking
he's
like
not fast. He's not fast.
Oh God.
I saw somebody rank him like 80
Adrian
speed.
Peterson wasn't fast either.
Oh, he had nice breakaway speed.
Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Is he not fast?
Is he stout? I mean, he's like 220 or something.
Was Steven Jackson fast?
It didn't matter. Steven Jackson was
I don't think that they're drafting Bijan. Derrick Henry didn't even start his rookie year. He was a second-round pick. Derrick Henry fast?
It doesn't matter when you're running downhill like that.
Exactly.
Like
and when you get into the secondary, you're going one way. The defense is coming up to stop you,
Also, before we get into the game preview, some finalists were announced for the NFL awards. MVP is pretty much everything you would think it was. Predicted voting results, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen. Number 5, Justin Jefferson getting a little love. I mean, he did tweet out, says, "I'm just glad I got considered." It's not, he can't do it. I mean, I haven't. Then again, I don't know off the top of my head, but like MVP is a quarterback-driven award.
Mahomes is the MVP.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
But can you make the case for Burrow?
No.
No? Why? Because of the start?
The 1 seed, the start. Yeah, Pat Mahomes, man. He's got him across the board, I think, no?
Yeah. I mean,
outside of the win against him.
I'm not saying that affects it by any stretch, but it's interesting enough that three of these MVP candidates are all playing on Sunday. So that's interesting. We'll get into a couple of those guys.
I think the better conversation is Offensive Player of the Year.
Offensive Player of the Year right now looks to be top 4 is Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. I'm kind of curious, like, if Patrick Mahomes is the MVP,
then it's going to go to
then
Jalen.
why wouldn't he be Offensive Player of the Year too? Like, he plays offense. He's the quarterback.
Yeah, Drew Brees. That's the Drew Brees Award. It's like you're not going to win MVP, but you're really good. So we'll give you this one.
So Justin Jefferson, maybe? I mean, right now he's projected to win Offensive Player of the Year.
I think it's going to go to the quarterback that doesn't win MVP.
You think?
So Jalen Hurts.
Even with the missed games?
Yeah.
Interesting.
What? I mean,
I don't know. I just feel like Jalen Hurts missing those games takes him out of everything.
You could make the case that Justin Jefferson missed the Packer game in the second one. He one catch.
He was
7
there.
yards.
He was physically present. Defensive Player of the Year: Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons, Chris Jones getting consideration for D tackle. And you said it the other day that the Kansas City front's been playing very, very good.
They have been big time.
But that's a 2-man race. I think it's between Parsons and Bosa. We'll see.
And they didn't give any credit to the Eagles guy, Reddick or Hassan. Is that his name, Hassan Reddick?
For what?
Is he an NBA player?
Oh, no. You're talking about no consideration.
I mean, he's
Offensive Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson of our Jets. I say our because it's Jersey. Kenneth Walker and Brock Purdy is in the conversation for Rookie of the Year, which is ridiculous to me. I mean, again, you don't count postseason.
Read those names again?
It is Garrett Wilson, Kenneth Walker III, and Brock Purdy. I think Wilson's probably going to run away with that.
Yeah, I mean, Olave should probably be in there.
He missed some games. He played for a bad team, too.
Brock Purdy missed some games, too. No?
He didn't play in those games. He didn't miss them.
Look,
seems like you've been missing some work. Oh, here we go. One snub that deserved the finalist vote was Chris Olave in this article. So, yeah, I guess so. 72 catches, very similar to Garrett Wilson. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Sauce Gardner, Aiden Hutchinson, Tyreek Woods. Sauce Gardner is.
I mean, he's all-pro.
Yeah. I mean,
First team All-Pro.
I did see a trade, potential trade. Some Jet fan.
Stop it.
What?
I saw it was like Sauce Gardner a first this year, a first next year,
Williams.
and Quinn Williams for Aaron Rodgers. It's like deal. Let's do that.
Comeback Player of the
You
Year.
can pick another player too if you want.
Yeah, right.
Anyone of them.
Anybody, just pick them. Comeback Player of the Year: Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Geno Smith. I think it kind of goes to McCaffrey. I mean, he's ranked second in this predicted voting thing.
And who's the first one?
It's Barkley, McCaffrey, and Geno Smith. You can make the case for Geno, definitely. Make the case for him. I'm not saying he's going to win it.
I would say it probably goes to Barkley.
Yeah. Snub finalist, Derrick Henry.
No.
Interesting one here.
Derrick Henry came back last year.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't really
Playoffs.
come back.
I feel like the snub might be B-Rob.
I mean, he didn't play yet.
Yes, he did.
I mean, he didn't play yet, like before he came back. There was nothing to come back from outside the exit wound.
Yeah, outside of the gunshot wound. But yeah, no, I mean, I get what you're saying. I didn't know. We talked about that on the other show. I didn't know the
He could have won
stipulations.
Rookie of the Year. There could have been considerations there.
I know, but you know, you come back, you get shot, and you come back from being shot.
He didn't come back from any football-related injury.
Yeah, I think
so
there's a
that's why it's not-
technicality there.
There's a technicality. Interesting one here, the last one before we get into the game. Coach of the Year. All right, Sirianni, Kyle Shanahan, Brian Daboll, Doug Peterson, Sean McDermott are the finalists. I think you take away McDermott. He's got the roster already. There's no reason for him to be there. I think you take away Shanahan. I don't care what quarterback. You have a loaded roster.
Yeah, he's gone.
Goodbye. It's down to Sirianni, Daboll, and Peterson. If Jalen Hurts is your Michael Jordan and you have
Sirianni's gone.
yeah, goodbye. I think it goes to Brian Daboll. I think that there was no expectations for the Giants to even be anything relevant this year, and he put them in relevancy. The Jaguars actually had some aspirations to compete within the AFC South.
I think maybe if you want to make the case because the division's really bad, but going into this season, I think, yeah, I mean, neither team. Look, Jaguars were the number one pick 2 years in a row.
I'm well aware.
To a division champ.
So then it's not hard to like string off 4 or 5 wins and be like, wow, what a year. You know what I mean? But the Jaguars definitely exceeded that. They're a playoff team.
Yeah, I think
so were the Giants.
Honestly, I think Daboll probably gets it because it's New York, but I don't think he deserves it over Doug Peterson.
I give it to the big
I think
Brian.
it's really take your pick. I just think usually what happens is the Giants got most of their success early in the year, and then they kind of fizzled out a little bit, and they had a couple clinches, a big performance late in the season that kind of takes all that and throws it away. But what the Jaguars were able to do down the stretch, I think, kind of leans me towards Peterson because you're doing it in the months that it's the hardest to do
Correct.
it in, and when things are on the line, and they really couldn't afford to lose one single game that they didn't win.
They had to win
So,
out and get there.
I give
That's
it to
true.
Doug Peterson.
All right.
And plus, I know that
I'm not
this
gonna
doesn't
argue on that
factor in.
one.
I know it doesn't factor in, but I mean, Daboll coached like crap in the playoff game.
Doesn't
the
count.
Second playoff game. I know.
Doesn't count. All right. It's time to get into these championship games. Come down on Sunday, and we'll start with the Bengals and the Chiefs, the AFC matchup. Look, we've been talking about it all week. It's time to put up and shut up kind of deal, right? I mean, Patrick Mahomes, not practice all week. It's just, one of those things where it's for safety and just precaution. You're going to keep him off his feet. We talked about Kelsey yesterday, about how there won't be an answer, so that right away gives you the advantage there. Both of these teams, I mean, offensively, it's just incredible. The Chiefs are averaging throughout the course of the year 424 yards of offense a game, and the yards allowed from Cincinnati was just over 350. So there's going to be success there, I think, with Kansas City on the offensive side of the ball. When you flip the side, same thing. Like the Bengals almost 380 a game, which isn't that great, to be honest with you. Comparable, at least. But the Chiefs' defense left to be desired. There's a lot of weapons there in Cincinnati. All of a sudden, you're looking at this game like, have you ever seen a more evenly matched game in your life? Like, this is very, very evenly matched.
Yeah, it's a very good game. This is what I wanted. Going on the road into Kansas City is probably not the ideal spot for the Bengals, but they've been there before twice, and they've done it twice. Once in the AFC Championship already. So, Joe Burrow is that dude. I think offense across the board on both sides of the ball, because I'm not ever going into a situation. We saw even what the Chiefs were able to do against the 49ers. Like, the Chiefs' offense is a different animal. So they're going to have their hands full. I just think the Bengals' defense is good enough to do enough. And really, what do you think about this game? Last possession wins? You know, could you see anything different than that?
I don't see anybody blowing anybody out. No, I don't.
I see a lot of points, so you could take your pick. I'm highly invested in a lot of these players as it is. Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. I have all 5, right? So I'm not going to be out on any of those 5 going into this one. And even if they lose the game, I'm going to probably hang on to Mahomes. And
any like sneaky play that you can think about? Like, do you think McKinnon will be effective out of the backfield like he's been?
I do, and I wouldn't even say it's sneaky at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
it's not
like,
the secret's out. He's actually
Pacheco.
good.
I think maybe Pacheco might be the guy that they lean on a little bit more. The Bengals have been good against the run. If Pat Mahomes is as injured as I thought he was, because yesterday or 2 days ago you heard me talking on the show and I was like, he's not playing. Look at the point spread. I mean, now he's practicing.
I saw him basically do a triple lariat off the
We assumed that 100% he was not going to be practicing, even if he. But like the fact that he's practicing points me towards the fact that, all right, he's better. He's good. High ankle sprain was maybe a myth, because he wouldn't be playing if it was an actual high ankle sprain.
I don't know how these things work. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV.
I feel like we've been talking about this all week. You know where I'm at. I feel like the offensive players are going to do well. I guess we could just pick the game.
Yeah, let's do it. Who do you like?
I like the Bengals.
On the road.
road.
In Kansas City.
Bro, all I have to do, anytime I start to have doubts about who I think is going to win this game, I just go to the ESPN Instagram post of Joe Burrow just practicing and warming up and looking smooth as all hell, just throwing the ball, doing a little spin. And I'm like, all right, that's a touchdown, right? That's a touchdown. So I'm going with Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, a hobbled, regardless of health. Well, that is a big factor. But like, I want to say that hobbled or not, the Kansas City offense has shown up all year round. Pacheco's been an incredible running back all year. McKinnon's just the unsung guy that you just didn't expect to blow up the way he did. But something about Joe Burrow and that offense, and now their defense, too. You know, they got these big, massive plays in the playoffs where that's the reason why they're there is because of the Hubbard yard dash, right? Or the fumble in the jungle, or whatever they're calling it. These little things of destiny are lining themselves up for Joe Burrow to go back into Kansas City and do it all over again. And I think he does, man. I'm going to pick the Bengals, too. I got, on other shows, I've said the Chiefs are my Super Bowl team. But that was before Mahomes got hurt. You know what I mean? Now I think Mahomes will be hobbled a little bit. He's not going to be able to extend the plays like he used to, or like he's used to doing.
There's an element, too, of the Bengals are very confident.
Yeah, right? Man. They're walking around with swag.
And for a team, like publicly, I talk to the public, I talk to you, I talk to my buddy Joe. I talk to a bunch of people that like and know football really well. And they're like Bengals, Bengals, Bengals. But for some reason, the Bengals still have this aura about them that they feel like they're disrespected. And that's dangerous of a team that's
absolutely
good.
Dangerous.
They're a dangerous team.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, so we got both on the Bengals here. As we flip on over to the NFC, the Cinderella story known as Brock Purdy and the 49ers have played really good football throughout the whole course of the year, man. There's nothing to be taken away from those guys. High-powered offense against another high-powered offense. It's just a matter of which defense will break. There's going to be a lot of bending. I think there's going to be a lot of field goals early. I think that, obviously the Eagles have been playing lights-out football for pretty much the entire year. I don't see them. They don't typically lose games. I mean, look at their record. The record says what it is. And the only times they did struggle was an interdivision game against the Commanders and a Christmas Eve game against the Dallas Cowboys where Gardner Minshew was your quarterback. So you look at the Eagles as a whole, there's not many holes. There's not many holes on this team. They've constructed this team very, very well, and I got to give it up to the GM and everybody over there, and I hate to do that. But in come this 49ers team that they didn't punk the Cowboys like they did last year. Because last year when the 49ers punked the Cowboys, they had that swag about them, and then they did it again against Green Bay, right? And I feel like that was still riding that high, and they're still, walking around like a little swag. This time around, I feel like they escaped the Dallas game. In regards, like they won by a touchdown, but it was one touchdown by Christian McCaffrey. Outside of that, Dak Prescott 2 interceptions. I don't foresee Jalen Hurts throwing 2 interceptions in this game.
Yeah,
so I feel like the turnovers have to whoever wins the turnover battle.
I've been talking to San Fran all week. My brother's a 49er fan. I feel like I'll throw that in there. So I do have a little bit of a bias. I'm rooting for the 49ers. But as we get closer to this game,
it's getting grim.
It's getting harder and harder for me to see it. And it's not because of Brock Purdy. It's not because it's just like the Eagles have been that team all year. And there was that question about a couple people saying, and I say a couple people saying that the layoff may have hurt them. I think that they proved that the layoff did not hurt them.
The Giants, who also didn't belong.
And I'll say this too: out of the last 10 years in the NFL, at championship weekend, I would not be surprised if any of these 4 teams won the Super Bowl. And that's a long time since I could say that. Like, I think the 4 best teams in football are in it. You could make the case for Buffalo, but I thought that they weren't the best team or top 5 team months ago. So I'm making a pick here because we know where I'm going on everybody. I'm going to take the 49ers because I've been sticking with that all, and I'm not going to just break now on Friday. I'm going to hold strong.
As an avid, diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, there are multiple scenarios here at play. The Eagles can win this game and have their fan base go nuts, Sporty Jordy being one of them, go absolutely batshit nuts, and then ultimately lose in the championship, the Super Bowl, to whoever. Or they just don't make it at all, and Brock Purdy becomes the first rookie quarterback to get to a Super Bowl. Or I know no rookies have won one. I don't think any rookies have played in one. I don't know that for a fact, so I got to check that. But what I will say is Brock Purdy showed a little bit that he's not. I don't want to say he's like, oh, he's Mr. Irrelevant. He stinks.
See the Peter King article?
Peter King? Why? What did Peter King say?
If he was starting a franchise right now, he would take Brock Purdy over
Dak Prescott. Yes. Yeah, I saw that. It's like now I'm gonna lose my mind.
I had to do it.
Oh, anyway, got me all riled up now. Dumb.
Dave needs a sick day.
They don't exist. This is my 3rd or 4th Jordan with the flu performance. But what I will say is this: Brock Purdy came down to real life. Micah Parsons and that defense shook him a little bit. I think the Eagles, can you survive back-to-back weeks of good defenses in your face? Also, let's not forget, this game's in Philadelphia. I want the 49ers. I think the Eagles are going to win this game. I really do. And it stinks. It burns me to say it. But I think that's the way we're going to go with this one. I don't. There's not enough factors on the Brock Purdy side of things where I'm like, yes, he'll do it again. You know what I mean? Like, it stinks.
The Eagles are a more complete team.
They are.
I think that the 49ers...
And the Niners have weapons upon weapons upon weapons. And I'm not even saying that they're not. But
you know who's going to win this game?
The fans.
Whoever wins the turnover battle. If
somebody I said that before, yeah.
If somebody, I don't know, Jalen Hurts only threw 3 picks all year. I think the Eagles have the best turnover difference in the NFL, right? Jalen Hurts only threw 3 or 4 picks all year. I don't know what Gardner Minshew did.
I don't know. I know Dak threw like 50.
It's not where I was going with this one. So we both picked, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I guess good luck to all teams out there.
I hope all teams have fun this weekend. Look, it's going to be, like you said, any one of these teams can win it.
I'm rooting for
any
Eli
matchup
Apple.
We get will be good.
I'm rooting for Eli Apple to get a ring.
I think I root for Eli Apple to get off Twitter.
Oh, no.
I know you're here for it, but boy, oh boy, he's going to eat those words this week, man. When like Kelsey or Juju just comes flying over and catches a touchdown or Vanta Scantling or whoever, he got to shut up. What happened last year, man? What happened? What happened? Well, he got roasted.
Yeah, but people were
Cooper Kupp crushed him.
But you know what? Going into championship week, after talking all that smack about Tyreek Hill, they won the game. And this all started last year with Eli Apple and Tyreek Hill. That's how he all got going on Twitter. And it didn't burn him there. He got burned by Cooper Kupp. Yeah, join the club. That's not even, it's like no big deal. You get burned by Cooper Kupp, it happens.
No big deal. Nothing at all. But yeah, so, I mean, look, what would you think the most appealing Super Bowl matchup would be? I know we made picks, but like the most appealing game. Because I feel like if it's Patrick Mahomes versus like Brock Purdy, I feel like, I'm not for it.
The best one would be the Eagles-Chiefs. Like that would be the most appealing. I don't know. I want to see the Bengals because I think that they're star-studded. I like Joe Burrow. A little bit I wouldn't even say it's new blood. All right. start to like Joe Burrow now before you have to hate him for his entire career.
Yeah, because you wind up like Brady. He's going to be in the Super Bowl every guy.
Right, so just get on board now and get. You hate Mahomes, I guess.
People are already starting to hate Mahomes. It's starting to happen, especially because of Fugazi injuries and stuff like that. Where he's
no, that's not why I don't. I think Mahomes is a beast.
I mean, look,
I'm jealous.
He does things that nobody's ever been able to do with the football in his hands. So
everybody that hates Mahomes would love Mahomes on their team.
No, 100%. He's the best quarterback in the league. He's about to win MVP again. So not a shock whatsoever. But anyway, enjoy the football. But before you do that, you got to follow us everywhere over on the social medias. It is Instagram, it is TikTok, and it is also the Twitter machine at Mojo, MOJO. Find us over there. All your stats, your graphs, your who's picking what. You got Sporty Jordy clips. You follow us on YouTube, like this video, do all the stuff to support the show. And obviously, head on over to mojo.com for all your latest blogs and all your latest writings from those guys. Those guys are great over there. And of course, you can't do any of this without downloading the app right now. Available now on the iTunes store and the Google store or whatever you call it. It's like hard for me to like say
Google Play.
Sure. I don't know why. It's like maybe because I'm so used to a blue phone.
Google
Play. There it is. Done. Easy. That was easy. I don't even know why. Where's the That Was Easy button from Target? Remember that? Not from Target. Staples. Sponsored by. I'm just kidding. All right, so enjoy the football. We're back here on Monday to put a bow on all this and get yourselves ready for Super Bowl 50.
I have no idea. Super Bowl, bunch of numbers or letters.
For Dave Sturchio, Chris Gueci, A5 behind the glass. We hope you have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy Championship Sunday. We'll be back here on Monday morning.
Can we get rid of the Roman numeral thing, by the way?
No.
Gone. Bro, what are we going to... Talk to you in 25 years.
Cowboys won Super Bowl 30, so it's XXX. It looks pretty cool on a hat.
They could keep it there. It would look just as cool if it said 30.